Hi everyone, this is Miss Raymond again with your math lesson. This is lesson 28, session 2. This lesson is adding 2-digit and 1-digit numbers. This page is 643. So the problem says Lou has 18 blue buttons and 7 red buttons. How many buttons in all? So first we want to know, what is this problem about? What is it asking us about? It's asking us about buttons. So let's read it again. Lou has 18 blue buttons and 7 red buttons. How many buttons in all? What is this problem asking us to solve? What are we looking for? Do we want to know how many buttons were on the floor? How many buttons were taken away? No, we want to know how many buttons there are in all together. Now, what information is important in this problem? Lou has 18 blue buttons and 7 red buttons. How many buttons in all? I think it's important to know that Lou has 18 blue buttons and 7 red buttons, because without that, we can't solve the problem. I think it's also important to know that it says how many buttons in all. Remember, that means we want to know the total number of buttons. So now I want you to go ahead and try and solve the problem any way you want. Remember, that's why it's called a try it problem. It's okay to struggle. It's okay if you're not correct. We just want you to try the problem any way you can to get your brain thinking, see what you can do with these numbers. So go ahead and try and solve, and then we'll talk about some different ways that you could have solved the problem. So one way you could have solved the problem is draw a picture. You could have drawn 18 buttons plus 7 red buttons, and you could have counted them. You could have added them together. And if I did that, I would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 buttons. No, that's not the only way that you could have solved the problem. You could have done it in your head if you started at 18 and counted up. There are many ways that you could have solved the problem. So this is just one way, and now let's see how Ready Math solved the problem. So here's the same question. Lou has 18 blue buttons and 7 red buttons. How many buttons in all? So what they show you is 18 plus 7. They draw a picture with 1, 10, and 8 ones for 18. And then they draw 7 ones for 7. Now, if you look, they have an arrow pointing from here all the way up over here. And what they're telling you to do is to take these 2 ones from the 7 and scoot them over and add it to 18. If I add 2 to 18, what number do I get? I get 20. So now that I've taken this 2 and added it here, I now have 20. Plus, not 7 anymore because we took these 2 away. So 20 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 20 plus 5 is 25. Now that was a lot easier than if I just had 18 plus 7 and I maybe had to count or I had to draw out my picture and use my fingers, anything like that. What they had you do is to make 2 10s to make it easier to add. So if 20 plus 5 equals 25, that means 18 plus 7 is 25. Because remember, even though these numbers look different, and they are different, they're from the same problem. All we did is we moved some numbers around. So there are 25 buttons in all, just like we found out before. So now let's practice this strategy a little bit. So this problem says, Shanna makes 41 snack bags. Alicia makes 7 snack bags. How many snack bags in all? This is the picture that they show you. Here is 10, 20, 30, 40 snack bags. And then inside the box, there's the one more, 41. So those are Shanna's snack bags. Over here, we have Alicia's. She only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Down below, it says 40. Here's 10, 20, 30, 40. Plus 1. Here's your 1. Plus blank equals what? Well, if here is your 40, 10, 20, 30, 40, here is your 1, what other number are we adding to find out how many snack bags there are in all? 7. Okay, so now 40 plus 1 plus 7 is 48. Good job. So there are 48 snack bags. Okay, let's try the next one. So the next one looks very similar. This says find 67 plus 5. First, they have 67 drawn out in tens and ones. Here's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then they have it boxed off. And then over here, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is kind of like the model problem up here, where they move some of the ones over to make a 10. So they circled 1, 2, 3, and they drew an arrow over here. So now those 3 circles are 1, 2, 3 right here. And they are not over here anymore. So now we need to figure out what our new numbers are. Here we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, because this is a 10 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 70 plus, remember, this isn't 5 anymore because we got rid of this 1, 2, 3. Those are gone. So 70 plus 1, 2 equals what? 72. Now remember, this is the same problem. We just move those numbers around to try to make it a little bit easier. So 67 plus 5 is 72, the same as 70 plus 2. Let's try the next one. Tessa counts 23 penguins. Then she counts 6 more penguins. How many penguins does she count? So if she has 23 that she's already counted and she counts 6 more, remember, more means we're adding. So 23 plus 6. So first, let's draw our picture. 1 10, 2 10s makes 20. 1, 2, 3. And then let's add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So this one's pretty easy because you don't have to move any numbers around. Okay. So what you can do is you can just count on. Here is 10, 20, and then 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So 23 plus 6 equals 29 penguins. Okay, now let's go to the last problem. Remember, these are all similar because we're practicing this strategy. So 54 plus 8. First, they drew 54 with 10s and 1s. So here's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 8 1s. One way to solve this problem is to take some of these 1s and move them over just like they did before to make another 10. So if I have 4 1s over here, how many more do I need to make a 10? I need 6. So here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I can move those over to here. Now this is a 10. And these we can cross out. So now let's fix our numbers. Now we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 plus, remember this isn't 8 anymore because we took away 6, plus 2, which equals 62. And that means that 54 plus 8 also equals 62. So moving your 1s to make another 10 is an easier way to add because 60 plus 2 is a lot easier than 54 plus 8. If you make it a 10, it's much, much easier to add. This is not a strategy that you absolutely have to use, but it's one that you should definitely practice and see if it helps you add these problems and figure out the numbers. And I think that it could be a very useful strategy if you practice it and see what that does. So there are also those green practice pages if you feel like you need extra practice or you want extra practice. Maybe you don't totally understand the strategy yet, you can do some extra practice with those numbers and that might help you out. And that's it for this lesson. Thank you for coming and thank you for watching. Bye.